So I wanted to talk about commitment and surrender, my two favorite subjects, commitment and surrender. But more specifically, how to know when to commit and when to surrender. Because I think the difference between a novice and a master is not only the ability to surrender, but also knowing when to surrender. Now, P.S. surrender does not mean giving up, it does not mean quitting, and it certainly does not mean not starting. Okay, surrendering does not mean like, I'm good, I'm just not gonna go into rehearsal today, I'm just gonna get high and play video games. That's not surrendering, that's laziness. Okay, in order to surrender, you have to actually get up out of the house. You have to actually go to rehearsal, you have to actually go to work, you have to actually get to the rehearsal hall, you have to get to the computer to write the thing, but then when you're doing it, that's when you surrender. The commitment part happens when you make the decision to do it every day. And the commitment part happens when we're willing to commit 100% to whatever crazy idea it is that we get, even if and especially when it doesn't make sense. Because that is when nature and creativity is using us and using our right brain, and we're getting these ideas and these downloads that we did not cognize, that we did not orchestrate or control or plan with our left brain, ego, human, limited sensibility. So we got to commit to the work every day. We got to commit to doing it, to actually just showing up, right? They say showing up is half the battle. But then when we're doing it, we still have to commit to those impulses. We have to commit to the ideas that we're getting, even if and especially when they don't make sense. And the surrender comes in when we're willing to not know how it's going to turn out. When we're brave enough to let nature surprise us, when we're brave enough to let our partner surprise us, to let the story surprise us as we're writing it, to let the pitch surprise us as it's happening. It requires a level of trust in yourself, it requires a level of bravery and vulnerability. And that's why surrendering is hard. It's actually not hard. It's the simplest thing to do, but most of us don't trust ourselves, and that's why surrendering feels hard. You know, I think Sarah was talking about the idea of least effort. That if you're gonna order a coffee, you're not gonna walk in and be like, can I have a coffee today? Because people are gonna look at you like you're crazy. You're gonna be like, can I have a coffee today? And they're like, I'm sorry, we're out of coffee. And you're like, what? Like, yeah, we're out of coffee. You're like, it's Starbucks. How are you out of coffee? And they're like, I don't know, it's weird, we just are. And you're like, I would like a coffee today. And like, then you might get to that much effort, but you're not gonna start with that. Okay, so it's not like we get up to act and we're like, I am here to say hello to you, boyfriend. We're not gonna like just be like, you know, efforting and controlling and muscling and stuff, because it doesn't require that much effort. It requires ease. But we have to have the combination of commitment and surrender. It's not a one or the other proposal. And I think the difference between a novice and a master is knowing when to commit and when to surrender. So we're gonna play with that tonight, just really committing to exercises, getting them wrong, not caring how it goes, not caring what other people think about it, but also being willing to surrender and listen to nature, listen to creativity, listen to our partner, and see where that takes us. But when you care about it, when the stakes are high, when it's the ABC series regular, when when it really matters and you've got a chokehold on it, and then you really rehearse it and you just make it everything, you should get it, like just rehearse it within an inch of its life. You're like, I am gonna know when I'm gonna stand up and when I'm gonna put my eye here and when I'm gonna have this beat change and when I'm gonna have this thought, and then it's just 100% dead. So there's nothing you can do to fake detachment. You cannot fake it. You cannot Jedi mind trick your way to detachment. The only thing that I've found, the only way to fake detachment is to keep setting your goals higher and higher and higher. Because then you're going to be detached about one click lower than the thing that you're working towards. But you have to be constantly expanding, constantly evolving, and then the thing that's right underneath the thing that you're going for, you don't really care about anymore. So you just keep up-leveling what it is that you're desiring. And then the other way to fake detachment is, I forgot. I did a video on it once, but I can't remember it. Do you guys remember it? I was how to fake detachment. And one was keep setting your goals higher and higher. And I think the answer was there are no other ways. Because it's like tricky, because nature knows, right? Like nature put those desires inside of you. So how can you be like, I know you put this desire inside of me, nature, but I'm going to secretly pretend like I don't care. Yeah, it's whatever. No. But here's what I will say, is that when you're doing the work beforehand, when the stakes are high and you do really care about it, yes, you do the work. You do a ton of work, but you do it all with ease. So when you're rehearsing, you're not doing it how you're going to do it in the room. You're just doing it like a ding-dong 5-year-old. You're doing it like you're Pee Wee Herman. You're doing it like with color finger paints. You're doing it, you're dancing it how you would dance it. You're singing it instead of acting it, so that you're actually playing and waking up your right brain, but still dancing around in the material. And then, oh, I know. The only other way to fake detachment is to care more about telling the story than you do about how you're telling the story. Right. Care more about telling the story than you care about how you're doing telling the story. Think about what it is that you're talking about versus thinking about how you're talking about it.
That makes sense.
It's like
hard.
Acting 101. I mean, I don't think it has to be hard. I think that if we take 30 seconds to actually do the work, the actual work, which is like figure out who we're talking to, figure out what we're talking about, play these images in our mind, see these movies in our mind, and then communicate these ideas to our partners, that's not hard. We have the images in our brain, so we don't have to lie about it. It feels hard when we don't do the work, and then we get up and we have to prove to everyone that we have done the work. But we're lying. But if you do the work with ease, then I think it can be really joyous and detached. Yeah, good.